any sea stories in your life? Like we had Dennis Lucia, who has the trophy of the sea stories. Apparently, that was something that was really common in the Northwest, where guys would get together in an undisclosed location and start off with the stories of "this is no shit."
Yeah.
And did you ever get involved in any of those sea stories at all, or did you have one of your own that you're going to keep close to the chest until the competition comes back, or?
No, not really. Most of my sea stories would be pretty tame compared to these other guys. I did spend about 16 years as a public safety diver.
Yes, and you were also involved in the Seattle hyperbaric stuff here for the tunnel, right?
Yeah, that's later on. That's more recent stuff. But working as a public safety diver has probably put me more into kind of ticklish situations than anything else I'd ever done.
And was this for a county or for the state?
I started out diving as a volunteer for Yamaha County Sheriff Department.
Okay.
And they had a pretty decent team, but I lived in Polk County. And so somewhere along the line, I thought, it'd make more sense for me to dive for Polk County, and they had a dive team. And so I switched affiliations and went to Polk County. And while I was involved with them, I had gone to public dive rescue specialist training through Dive Rescue International.
Right, okay.
I'd gotten that training. Then I'd gone ahead and gone to through Dive Rescue International, the public safety scuba instructor program, so I could teach public safety divers.
And how long did you do that?
That was about 16 years total time. But then the Polk County dive team was disbanded, but Polk County Fire District 1 in Independence, Monmouth, had a dive team that needed a lot of help, and one of the assistant chiefs, we had met somewhere, and he invited me to come down and join the team with my background to kind of try to spruce the team up. And we got there and did a lot of work with them until they disbanded that team. But we'd gone.
So that must have been pretty straight. I mean, a lot of recoveries, a lot of auto accidents, a lot of drownings, a lot of that's a pretty tough gig to be involved with.
It is, but some of the diving was really interesting. We got
evidence collection and things like that, or
and we got to do some of that, but we also got to do, it was a body recovery, but we got to dive in the pool at the bottom of a 100 and some foot tall waterfall in Silver Creek Falls State Park.
Oh, really?
Because the Oregon State Police looked at the dive and said that they couldn't do it. Their team couldn't do it, and so we were contacted. And we went up and completed the dive.
And how deep was that?
Well, the falls itself was 106 feet, I think. The water at the pool was only probably 20. But the interesting thing was that where the falls came down, the pool under the falls was a perfect cylinder that had been bored down through the bedrock. And then it had one little outlet coming out, where the water flowed out. And like I said, the state police looked at that, and they looked at all this swirling, boiling water at the base of this falls and said, "No, we can't do it." So we got in there, we made the dive. We found out that once you get below the surface, like even that far below the surface, it's calm.
Wow.
All the turbulence is right at the surface. I actually swam up and put my hand up into the froth at the bottom of the falls.
Now that would be a great video.
It would.
You need to go back and video that.
I did go back. We did make a dive back there because the park wanted to know what it looked like underneath.
Sure.
So I did go back there and shoot some video there. But what it was the water would come down and splash around on the surface. But what it did is it just created this really slow, clockwise current. Very gentle, very slow. And at the bottom of this, like I said, it was a perfect cylinder. At the bottom of this was a cone-shaped pile of gravel.
And
there was
kind of just created this cone.
And there was some tree limbs and stuff stuck into it.
Yeah.
But once you got under that initial current from the from the falls to the outflow. It was really comfortable, calm diving and good visibility, and it was a lot of fun.
Wow.
The other stories, I could talk about being on the bottom of the Willamette River at 2 in the morning on a February.
That does not sound fun. The Willamette River.
But it was an interesting dive too, because I had, it was a body recovery.
Yeah.
And I had a flashlight, so I'm swimming around with a flashlight and not having a lot of backscatter, a lot of reflection, not being able to see really well. And the water wasn't very deep, maybe 10, 12 feet deep, and they had lights on the boat. So what we did was I turned my light on. They had the lights on the boat shining down, and I could actually see better. It was dim, but I could actually see better on the bottom than using my own flashlight.
Wow, just from the refraction of the water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But there was a lot of stuff like that. I really did enjoy that work.
Do you get out and dive very much now, Sid?
Not as much as I'd like.
Yeah. Now, you were just on an HDS trip down doing some shark diving, weren't you?
Yeah, last fall down in Guadalupe, New Mexico, Guadalupe Island off the coast of, we went out of Ensenada on a boat to make the dives. It was a day trip out, 3 days at the island, and then a day back, and diving in cages hung off the back of the boat. And this great white sharks that come swimming around, and you get to take pictures as
great whites.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Campbell had actually showed us some pictures yesterday of the great whites out on the Cobb Seamount, and pretty impressive dive out there, 500 miles off the coast of Oregon and Washington, I think.
Yeah.
Have you been ever out there on that?
No, I've seen some film from out there though.
Yeah.
And it may have been film Spence had. But I remember the image of a diver in full commercial dress. I mean, the copper helmet, breastplate, weights, canvas suit, lead shoes, being picked up by the surge and moved maybe 20, 25 feet this way.
Oh, jeez.
And then when it came back, pick him up and take him back the other way.
Wow.
Back and forth, back and forth.
That doesn't sound too fun, but I bet you look cool. Anything else you'd like to tell us today, Sid? This is your chance to tell all the members of the Northwest Historical Dive Association about yourself and any concluding remarks at all.
Well, not so much about myself necessarily, but I would put in a plug for dive history.
Let's hear it.
The plug for dive history would be that it's important to preserve it. Just as it's important to preserve any history. If you don't remember history, you'll make the same mistakes over again. That sort of thing. But diving has touched almost every commercial venture, every enterprise, every industry known to man. Everything from transportation to food production to construction to energy to military operations, and it's important to preserve that story so that people in the future will be able to appreciate what it's taken to get us from where we were to where we are now.
And we appreciate very much your involvement in that, Sid. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That was great.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.